But then it had been a minute since you had a Q1 non-conference win, and to get two of them and a borderline third, whether they end up being Q2. Just thoughts on the week of the success that is and what that does for you for the next 3+ months after a week like that.
Well, it was good for our guys, to get a little confidence and going in, and A&M's athleticism, was really good, and they beat us up on the boards early, but then we kind of got back into it, um, rebounding a little bit, and then had a good run. And San Diego State, really good defensively, and like always, Dutch does a great job there. And then, to play a really talented Alabama team, find a way to get a win. So the guys did a great job. A lot of things to work on. We got to get our matchup going, and our presses aren't what they need to be. So it showed us, a lot of things we got to improve, and told the guys, they, give you anything for winning November. It's a process, and got a long 4 months ahead of us. So, but it is a good start. Don't get me wrong, and to play those teams and find a way to win is really important. But I think that's where it shows like our experience and our depth. We've battled depth problems because of injury here for last 3-4 years. So it was nice to have Keyshawn come off the bench and give us a big lift. Supreme come off the bench, give us a huge lift. KJ rebounded well. Raheem gave us some good minutes defensively. Mookie gave us a little spurt there in the final game. So, it's just good to have that kind of depth. So when you get in foul trouble, someone's having a night that, just not quite right, that you have someone there to step in.
And is it going to be strange opening Big Ten conference play against USC in a familiar place with that Big Ten logo on the court?
Well, it is different. We always, over the last few years when we went to 20 conference games in the Pac-12, we did have some early conference games also, so you're kind of used to early in December playing a conference game, so it's not that unusual. But they're making us make 2 trips to LA, which, I wish we could have went later in the year and maybe played them together. But is what it is, and quick turnaround. Originally, this tournament was supposed to end on Friday, and I planned on having another day to get ready, so the guys have had a quick turnaround. But I noticed a lot of teams, like Notre Dame, I think, is playing tonight, and Creighton has a game tomorrow. Alabama's at North Carolina tomorrow, so Creighton's got Kansas coming in. So, a lot of big games. Everybody's got a quick turnaround here.
What do you make of just TJ's willingness to drive to the hoop that week and get fouled, and kind of that next step for him in his game of getting to the line?
He's been reluctant to do it, and I don't know why. He's built, he's strong, he gets to the rim, so he's been a little reluctant to take that thing at the basket. But when he does, he's much more efficient. As you mentioned, I mean, shot 12 free throws against A&M. And so, on a night where the ball's not going in from the perimeter, drive that thing at the hole, and it will make those perimeter shots a lot more open also. So, but he did a much better job in the tournament than he did prior to the tournament.
How do you feel in the three-point shooting this past week, where certainly had a couple better results than had been earlier?
Well, it really helped us against San Diego State. We were 10 of 22 in that game. And then Keyshawn shot it well against Alabama, kind of raised the whole team's average there. But, we've got to do a better job of deciding, when we can go inside. Alabama was having a hard time stopping us inside, and I Nate kept floating to the perimeter, and I said, Nate, I can't stop you in there. And so, we've got to do a little better job of deciding when to go inside, when the perimeter shot's there. You got to use the 3-point though. You got to shoot it. You got to spread that floor, and we're going to shoot it better. Key's shooting it good right now, but I know Jackson can shoot it. Brandon's a good shooter. Raheem can shoot it. We got plenty of guys we got a lot of volunteers to shoot it too. So, we just got to make sure that we're getting the right ones.
Thoughts on USC? Kind of a completely new team that we faced last year.
They're talented, and they've got a lot of guys that can play. But it's a new coach, and he brought in 12 new guys. So it just takes a while. And Coach Musselman's a good coach, and I'm sure they'll make a lot of progress, during the year. They've had some ups and downs here early, but you can see the talent level. They got some young kids that are very good, some transfers that are really talented. You're going to have to play to beat them, because of their talent level.
Playing on the road one time in the week and then playing at home later in the week's different for the 4 Pac-12 schools. How does that change at all your preparation?
It doesn't, in the fact that, usually we just had the day turnaround. Other than that, where you were just on to the next game really quick. This way we'll come back Wednesday night, get back in late. Thursday we'll have film on that game, and then still have Friday, Saturday to prepare for UCLA. UCLA and Washington play tonight, so they're going to have an extra day, but 3 days is plenty for us to get ready for that game on Sunday. So it does change preparation a little bit. When we go on the road, the Big Ten's got a rule, 2 days in between games, and so we're going to be on the road. I told the guys it's just kind of an example of how long I'm going to be on the road a few times this year, with Ohio State, Penn State, for example, being our first road game. You're there and you play, and you 2 days in between games, which will be a little different for us. But no, until it got here, that's what you usually did. But I guess I have been here a long time, so you kind of get into a routine. But we're going to have a lot more travel this year, which we'll have to adjust to. But it doesn't bother the guys. Heck, they're used to traveling. They're used to being upside, and they're young, and it ain't gonna bother them.
With the success that last week was, Dana, I realized, yes, first things first for you guys is going down to LA. But when the next home game is what it is, how much would it mean? How much do you want and need the crowd on Sunday to be 10,000 plus to get? If it was, there was injuries, or there wasn't necessarily as much success or consistency the last 3-4 years. You're a top 15 team in every metric, and you just did what you did. And yet UCLA is coming to town. How much do you want and need for the players? 10,000 plus people in here to be the kind of barn that it's been before.
Well, that's, my biggest thing is I want it to be a great atmosphere for the fellas. We've won at home. For a while there, we won a lot at home. And the atmosphere in this building can be really good, when the students are involved and everybody's involved. We've had a level of consistency, but it hasn't been, top 10 type or top 20 type, so, I understand the fans, wanting us to see us play at a higher level. But I thought the guys have always competed, and it's never been, I didn't think they were playing hard. We were undermanned a few games, but our guys always seemed to come and compete. So hopefully, we'll have a great atmosphere, and we need to establish, a home court. As you look across the Big Ten, and, we saw it in football, you go to Michigan, you got 100,000, and Ohio State's 100,000 in football, Nebraska's 90, I mean, it's different in the Midwest. And, it's, I think if you look at the attendance figures, the four schools out west trail everybody in the Midwest. And so, we got to make this a home court. If our fans, our football stadium's small in comparison to those, but it's lively and it makes a difference. And it makes a difference in basketball because everybody's right down on top of things. And we've had some great crowds over the years, and it's one of those years that with the transition into the Big Ten, I hope our fans want to keep up with some of the other fan bases.
Looked like Sasha was in uniform, so he's fully cleared now?
Yep. He is cleared for the year. He had a 6-game that he had to sit out for his games over in Europe, but he is cleared for the rest of the year.
Say, what's up with Dez?
Yeah, I talked to Dez. Dez had surgery last week on his shoulder, and he is out for the year. I talked with him, and his mother came in for the surgery from Louisville, and so Coach Fish, who spent a lot of time recruiting Dez, stayed, for the surgery, wasn't at our ball game on Wednesday, and stayed with him Wednesday, Thursday, and came back to the team on Friday. But no, he was at practice yesterday and said he's feeling good, but did have his arm in a sling, and we're just going to redshirt him and hold him out for the year.
To Vegas, there was a lot of intrigue in just how the tournament would be run, how well it would be, the reception from a coach-player perspective. Going through it now, what was your impression heading into next year for it?
Well, I was asked that question a number of times, and Matt, everything was great. I mean, we couldn't have been treated any better. We arrived at MGM, our rooms, everybody, really accommodating. The MGM was great. The food was great, which is always big for the players, and so the food was great. They hired all NCAA top-line officials from all over the country, from every conference, and so they did it right. I mean, other than the extra day that for TV, the 2-day break there, but I know they're really working next year to finish it on Friday, but other than that, I had zero complaints. I thought we were treated great. It's easy to say when you win, but even if we wouldn't have been successful, there was nothing I could complain about with the tournament because they treated us great.
A lot of discussion of MTEs and 3 games in 3 days. Is this kind of the format you think it should maybe transition to, of 4 days and 3 games over that 4 days?
Yeah, no, I always like the day break. Back-to-back games is fine. Then a day break. If you don't have great depth, 3 in 3 days is really tough on you. But 3 and 4 days, we had an extra day, so it was 3 and 5. But no, 3 and 4 is doable. Especially early in the season when you're trying to work on rotations and stuff and get guys on the floor. And then, playing good teams like that, really gives you things to work on, just like the Oregon State game did. They beat us on the boards that first half and outworked us. It really helped us get ready for the tournament. So thought we were pretty prepared for it, and you know, those 3 games will definitely help us. You know, A&M's rebounding ability, Alabama putting up those threes and trying to, you know, guard on the perimeter. You know, it just gave us a lot of different looks.
Focused on SC, but what have you seen from UCLA? And obviously, you know Mick very well, and what he'll bring in here, regardless of what the roster looks like. But what have you seen from him so far?
I didn't.
What have you seen from UCLA so far?
You know, I haven't seen them, but I know a lot of their guys just because, you know, Bibideau transferred from Oregon State, and then Kobe Johnson from USC, and then the guy Andrews and the guys they got back. So we know a lot of their guys. Don't know really the guard from or the big kid they got from South Dakota State or something. They got a transfer in that's playing quite a bit there. But no, you know, defensively, you know, they'll grab and hold and be physical. And offensively, you know, they'll grind you down and try to get the shot they want to get. So, you know, it's going to be a physical game, and we're going to have to play. You know, there's no doubt about it. Like I said, I'll start worrying about that one Thursday morning, but they are talented, and we know it'll be a physical, hard-nosed game, just like our games have been, you know, last 3 or 4 years since Mick has been there.